Hey guys, it's Britta. Happy Monday, back with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. This is not a new product, but I saw so many people that I follow on YouTube put this in their Best of Beauty 2020 video, and I really hadn't even wanted to pick it up, really thought much about it, but because so many people were raving about it at the end of last year, I decided to try it. This is actually my first Makeup Forever product in general. I just have not dived into this brand at all, but I've heard good things, especially about this. So I will read the claims first before we get into the review. This is $39, which I think is a pretty good price for a foundation at Sephora. You know, some foundations can be upwards of like $50. This one's $39, and I think you get an ounce. Yeah, 1.01 ounces. So pretty standard fill weight. It's a nice glass bottle. It has a pump, which I love, and I am in the shade Y244. I think this is a pretty good match. It's a little bit too yellow, but nothing crazy. I've had way worse foundation matches. So this says it is light coverage, satin finish. It's for normal to dry skin types. And it says clinical results in a test of 31 subjects, brightens, smooths, firm skin's appearance. And then in an instrumental test after 24 hours on 16 subjects, reduces the appearance of wrinkles by 23%, and then increases hydration by 26%. So essentially they're saying this is a skin revitalizing foundation that adds a radiant satin finish while hydrating, smoothing, and firming the skin for up to 24 hours. So whenever there's a firming claim involved, I feel like there's really no way to confirm or deny that. I just have never found that I can visibly or feel my skin being more firm from a product. So I'm kind of going to skip over that one. But when they say that it diminishes the look of wrinkles, I definitely agree with that. I'm wearing it today, obviously. We actually filmed a Get Ready With Me, so I'll either insert that clip or do another clip of me applying this foundation. But I do think that this is a very fluid foundation. It's not watery fluid, but it's definitely fluid. It's not very thick. It comes out of the pump really easily, and it is very lightweight on the skin. So I apply it with a sponge, and I do find that it doesn't blur wrinkles. I don't want to say that because I still have fine lines on my forehead and around my eyes, but I do think it makes them look less noticeable, which is what I personally look for in a foundation. I want something that is lightweight on the skin, doesn't feel like makeup, really doesn't accentuate my lines at least, and something that's light coverage. I don't really I'll go for a medium coverage, but I never do full coverage. And I think that the claims on this actually hold true. I do think it diminishes, or at least doesn't bring out my wrinkles, and it is a light coverage foundation. As you can see in the clip, I had to use 2 pumps, which I'm not used to. With a lot of foundations, I use a half a pump or a pump. I know I talk a lot about the CoverGirl Pretty Fresh foundation. That one I use half a pump. A pump is even too much. And I know, we work in the beauty industry, so I know the output on pumps is different. So I think the output on this one is just less than other pumps, which is why I have to use 2. But I still don't feel like I'm overusing product on my face. I think that because this is so fluid, it just really blends. And I do think because I use a sponge, a lot of it soaks into the sponge. But I love the coverage it gives. It's just the perfect amount. I would almost say it's light to medium. When comparing it to another foundation I love, the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Skin Tint situation, that one is a sheer to light, and this to me is a light to medium. I think you could build it up to get medium coverage, but it does really smooth out the skin. So I love that about it. The hydration, I kind of get where they're going with that because it does give a dewy finish. So my preferred way, I don't like to wear a hydrating base under this because then I find it to be a little too dewy for my preference. As I get older, I just feel like I really love a nice satin finish, which I know that they claim this to be, but I do think if you go in with a priming moisturizer or something that has a glow underneath, it just becomes too dewy. So if I wear a sunscreen underneath, I use mineral sunscreen, so they often are matte. So if I use a mineral sunscreen underneath this, it's my perfect finish because it is an actual satin finish, which I know you guys will take into consideration. Obviously, if you're using a matte foundation, a lot of you would probably opt for a dewy primer because it kind of balances each other out. And I'm with you there. So for this, I don't really like to use anything too dewy underneath, or the overall finish becomes too glowy for my preference. But when using this just over an SPF, I really love the satin finish that it gives. I think that is why it kind of helps to blur fine lines. and it wears really, really well throughout the day. I haven't found this to break up at all. I do think there is a claim on here. Maybe not. I thought that I saw a claim about how long this lasts on the skin, but I think that Makeup Forever is known for like long-lasting products, and this really lasts and wears really well on my skin. It doesn't break down. It doesn't really get super, super oily. I feel like it doesn't feel like makeup. There are a lot of foundations I've tried that as the day goes on, they feel very like heavy on the skin, and this one isn't like that. It just wears really, really beautifully. So far, I really see what all the fuss is about. I think this is a really beautiful product. I think that if you're looking for something, I don't want to say if you have more mature skin, but I'm 30 now. So I obviously have like fine lines, and if you're looking for something that won't accentuate fine lines like I do, this is a really great option. I do think this would work for normal to dry skin. I think oily skin might like this, but I would say definitely normal to dry because of the satin finish. I don't know that oily skin would, but I really love it so far. I think that it's a beautiful product. I'm really excited to try more of Makeup Forever. I know they've been around for so long, and I just haven't picked up anything from them, but this is a really good like first product for me to dive into the brand, and I've just been looking for a new foundation. I feel like the start of the year, we get a lot of new foundations, new complexion products, and I love that CoverGirl one that I mentioned, but I just wanted something maybe a little bit more suited for my skin type, like I said, fine lines, and this is it for me. I feel like I'm really happy with it. I was really pleasantly surprised because I don't have a foundation like this in my collection. Of course, I gravitate towards anything with a satin finish, but this is really unique because, like I said, it does feel very lightweight on the skin, but it does really help to blur the skin as well. So really happy with this purchase. If you've tried this, please let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to hear it. And let me know what other foundations you recommend currently. I feel like we've gotten so many new releases. I'm really curious about like the new Shiseido foundation, so let me know what you think we should try next.